So, the first poem I will say tonight is entitled Shabbat. Now, Shabbat in Hebrew means to praise. I hope you are encouraged and blessed by this message, and do pray for me as I speak. Shabbat in Hebrew means to praise. Now stop your feet and clap your hands and let this roof raise. Let the whole world know we don't only go, ho, to the Olympics, or when Amazing Lynn shoots his three-pointer plays. You see, this whole world has it all backwards. They tell us it's better to be forever young, rocking diamonds, that glamorous life, strapping guns. They tell us to make an ego be our identity. But is it me, or don't that sound crazy? They tell our young men to get motivated. I thought it was about success. No, they being X-rated. And they don't even have time to praise God. You know what? Maybe for a minute. At the Oscars, Grammys, when they tell the world, if it wasn't for God, we couldn't have did it. But in their lives, their videos, their music, they have no place to fit God in it. And the crowd goes, oh, hey, no way. We give more praise to these actors on the stage than we give to God, who has the power to save. But if I had it my way, God's praise would never be delayed. Because when I think back on what he's done for me, we have to say Shabbat. You see, I used to be the sinner playing in the devil's courtyard. I used to be so drugged up, I thought I was a psycho in that hospital psych ward. And when I didn't think it could get any lower than that, the devil Facebooked my past and let my shame play back. But then God stepped in and shot fire all through my bones. He said, I know where you've been, but I'm here to make heaven your home. You see, brothers and sisters, if you need a rehab, call him. You remember, he can make a sinner into a saint. You remember that harlot Rahab? And then I need you to take a visit to your local zoo and realize if God could provide for all those deaf and mute animals, then he could surely provide for you. And if you need healing, remember the woman with the issue of blood. He can compass you with his power like a mighty rushing flood. Brothers and sisters and brothers, if you're feeling this, I need you to raise your hands. You see, we're not here to warm the church pews. We're here to show the world when it comes to praise, this is how we do. Amen. Shabbat in Hebrew means to praise. Now stop your feet and clap your hands and let this roof raise. God bless. The poem that I'm going to say next is, I wrote it in Black History Month because I observed some things and it made me sad. Thank you. I observed some things and it made me sad. So this poem is called Black, and pray for me. Am I a man or am I a woman? I really don't know, because my brothers and my sisters are so confused today. We act like we're still in slavery in their cotton picking fields, slaves to drugs, slaves to crime, slaves to hustling any way you can just to make a dime. And we still have them house slaves and field slaves too. Talking about, I don't like you because you look darker than I do. Taking fashion tips and self-esteem from people whose skirt rides up to their hips and pants drop down to their knees. Ain't I a woman and don't I deserve some respect? But my brothers don't think so if I'm not a blonde or a brunette. And for you, my sisters, you and you are the men we sleep with. We're losing ourselves under the sheets of shame. And a 13-year-old girl is now fair game. You know, I thought when Obama became president, it could make a change. But how is the expected outcome to be different if the mind remains the same? Ain't I a woman? You see, we've retrograded back to that infancy mentality that says foolish decisions equal to increased fatalities. But my brothers and sisters, my sisters and brothers, what I'm here to tell you is that many of our family died for this very same day. And their tears reached up to heaven and God paved the way. So we no longer have to drink at the colored fountains today. Ain't I a woman when I walk down the street? I no longer have to bow my head because I now have equal opportunity. And because I serve such a great God, I also have my degree. So I can pass on to my daughters and her daughters how God has truly set us free. Because I am a black woman. Thank you.
So this is for all young people and young people at heart. But before I begin, I want to tell you what I've noticed. You see, I've realized that the human nature is to please. And no matter what it is, we try our best to get people's approval. But I've also acknowledged and understand that there are some pleases or some approvals that are bad for us. So this poem is to ask you, us, me, the next time we seek someone's approval of something, is it the right approval? Should we take that? So this poem is called Whose Eyes? And pray for me as I recite this. Does picking up a gun make you more than a man? Leaving print marks on your girl from the palms of your hand? Call a girl a female dog or the N-word a man? Do you feel alive because you are a part of some gang? The way you live your life is in your own hands. The choices you make and the person you become. But whose eyes are you really looking from? Is money your only focus? The only thing on your mind? Does hustling, working take up all of your time? Can't even give your children advice because you are about that dime. Focus to the lyrics. Don't focus on the rhyme. This is the US of A. Neglect is also a crime. The way you raise your children are in your own hands. The choices you become or the person you become. But whose eyes are you really looking from? Do you get flattered when men say you're sweeter than sugar and spice? Does your drawers fall to your knees as quick as the roll of a dice? Do you smile to hide the pain burning inside? Do you try to fit in a world that despises your kind? Do you disconnect to the image staring at you from that reflective thin line? Wishing you had a little bit more, but a little less color, or a Coca-Cola shaped waistline? People, raise your children, because if you don't, who's gonna raise them for you? The way you live your life is in your own hands. The choices you become, the choices you made and the person you become. But whose eyes are you really looking from? God bless. The next, it's right. I would say, yeah, okay, whatever. And I would do my own thing. But truth be told, if I had listened to some of their advices, I honestly wouldn't have to jump over some hurdles I had to go through in the future. So this poem is especially for the young people, that when good, godly counsel, advice comes your way, it is better to listen than to pay in the future. This poem is called Listen. Listen to the lyrics coming out my mouth. You cannot play with the devil, he will strike you out. You reach the dirt in and child thinking that you're winning, turn around, take a bow to the crowd. Next thing you realize you're laying flat on the ground with your foot in your mouth. Yeah, you had swagger, you had that Arab money, but all along the devil's had you on a string like an AKA gun. Chase the game, chase the fame, chase this #1 name, chase the girls and the pearls and this fantasy world. End up in a body bag, dragged away in the back of a hearse. First word comes out your mouth is that you love the Lord. Then you put around and say that you're your own God, that you do your own things and you live your own life, and if you really wanted to, you could be the next. Shh. The pride of this life has gone straight to your head. But would you fail to realize that if it wasn't for God, we'd all be dead? Chase the game, chase the fame, chase this #1 name, chase the girls and the pearls and this fantasy world. End up in a body bag, dragged away in the back of a hearse. But in reality, you're fake, tainted, living in a delusional world. where money grows in trees and for every boy there's a girl. You lost track of reality, thinking everybody's just into me. Showcase your life like it was a show on MTV. You see, success is not the problem. It's just claiming it's all you. As if God didn't have a part to play in creating the improved you. Yeah, you have swagger. You have that Arab money. But all along, the devil's had you on a string like the AKA devil. Chase the game, chase the fame, chase this #1 name. Chase the girls and the pearls and this fantasy world. End up in a body bag, dragged away in the back of a hearse. God bless.